Good afternoon, crafters. I hope you're having a great weekend. Even if in Birmingham it's certainly pouring it down of rain. We've had a lovely weekend because it was my eldest daughter turned 30, so we've had a surprise birthday party for her yesterday at my house, which was really nice, but we couldn't use the garden. Even the gazebo was very damp and wet. So anyway, so today's project is making what I like to think of as the classic one sheet. Oh, sorry, plane going over. I like to think of as the classic 12 by 12 mini album. So this is my version, and there are lots of videos out there using very similar versions to this. So, and I've tried to record this 3 or 4 times, but I've had to start again each time. So there's the front, and you open it out. Now this has got a cover, hard cover on, but you can make them without the cover. You can make them so that they're plain. You don't need to have the pocket, so you can seal the pages up, or you can put the pockets in. You can make it without the cover, without the pockets. You can decorate it however you like, but it's just the classic one. So I thought it'd be a good one to add to my series on the 12 by 12s. Okay, so as I said, I've tried this several times, so please forgive me because my paper's already prepped and cut, but we'll go through it. So you'll need a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Do check that it is a true 12 by 12. If it isn't, then you may find some of your pages are out. In which case you can do it by simply doing the fold over method, which is folding in half and making sure that you join up, creasing, then folding back on itself and creasing again. But I'm going to show you the scoreboard method. So put your paper into your scoreboard. I'm using my Hugo, and we're going to score at 3 all the way down, at 6 all the way down, and at 9 all the way down. I like to flip it over because your pages are going to fold both ways. So once you've done that and you're happy, we're going to turn it 90 degrees, and we're going to score in the opposite way exactly the same. So 3 inches, 6 inches and 9 inches. For anybody that's metric, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the metric conversion in the box below. Okay, so once we've done that, we can put our scoreboard away. And if you're doing the fold over method, you'll do exactly the same as I did with my other one sheets. You're going to fold, line up, crease, fold the top one back, line up and crease, flip it over, fold the top one over and crease. And once you've done that, you're going to turn it 90 degrees and do exactly the same that way. Okay, so once you've done that, you're going to take your scissors or your I sometimes like to use my blade and a metal ruler, or you can use your trimmer, whichever works for you. And you're going to cut up. So you're going to start on the middle score line, so the one that's 6 inches. Doesn't matter which side unless your paper's directional, so you're going to have to think about that. So start at the bottom and cut all the way up the middle until you get to the top score line. So you're cutting through 1, 2 and stopping at the 3rd score line. So you end up with a cut like that. Once you've done that, you're going to turn it 180 degrees. So your cut is at the top, and you're going to do exactly the same on the left and the right hand score. You're going to start at the bottom and cut past 1, past 2 and stop at that top 3rd score line. And the same here, past 1, past 2 and stop at the top score line. When you've done, you should have a piece of 12 by 12 that looks like that. So you've got all your score lines, 3, 6 and 9, 3, 6 and 9, and then it looks like an M or a W, depending on which way round you've got it. Now to do the classic, what you're going to do is fold, now this will depend on whether you've got double-sided paper or single-sided. Decide which you want for your cover. So if this was double-sided and I wanted this on the cover, I'm going to fold over like that. If I wanted this, the white, to be on the cover, I'm going to fold under. Okay? If, like me, you've got a single-sided piece of paper, card, you're going to fold under first, and then you fold over, then you'll fold under, and then this join here you're going to fold across. Once you're there, you're going to go under, then over, then under again and fold across, then under, over, under and across, under, over, under, and there we have our classic book. So you decorate the outside, and if you want to put some ribbon on, you're going to put it from the back to the front and tie it up there and decorate as you like. Okay, so once you get to that point, actually before you decorate, you're going to then decide whether you're going to have pockets or not. If you're not going to have pockets, you're going to take your glue. I'm using my Old Faithful. I'm going to take your glue and then opening, because this will be our pocket or not, you're going to open it up and spread glue all over that piece and glue that down. Once that's glued down, so those two are together, you're going to open, which will be the over, and you'll glue that piece down. So, and you'll carry on gluing, pressing down, opening, gluing, pressing down, opening, gluing and pressing down all the way through. Make sure you're always on the side that's the back, because if you start gluing this side, you're going to glue your pockets shut. Right? If, however, you want a pocket, what you're going to do is, so that's my outside, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to decide whether I want a top pocket or a side pocket. So with this one, I'm going to go with the top. So you're going to run glue along that edge, thin layer of glue, or you can use, if you've got some really thin red liner tape or anything like that. So there, and then up this side, and I'm going to squash that, reinforce that, and that then is our first pocket. So as you can see, okay, so then I'm going to open the next one, which is that one, and again I'm going to decide whether I want a side or a top pocket. So I'm going to, oh hello, I've missed one. Okay, so that was the one that we've just done, and then this is the next one. So we're going to open that up. Now I can have a bottom pocket if I want, but I'm going to go for a side pocket, which will be this side because my book opens that way. So I'm going to put a side pocket this side. So I'm going to glue down this, which will be the spine of the book, and across there. Okay, so that will be a side opening pocket. Push those down, and I'm going to carry on with all of the book doing just that. Now, Let me put you on pause while I do that. Okay, so I've done all of that. So there's my front cover, and there's my top pocket, and my side pocket, and I've got another top pocket, and this one's a top pocket, another top pocket, and side pocket. Well, you get the picture. Side pocket. Yeah, you get the picture. Anyway, oh, glue on my hands. So I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute over there while I carry on with the rest. So next step, we're going to make the cover. Now, if you are happy with your book like that and you just want to decorate and put some ribbon around it to keep it closed, then you can just carry on and leave it at that stage. Obviously, if you're using double-sided, this is going to be patterned, or you're going to decorate it, so you can leave it that. If, however, you want to carry on and put a hard cover on, like I've done with this one, this is what you need to do next. So I've taken, this is the back of an envelope that I was sent, hardback envelope. So that's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So these are all in inches, and this is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So what you're going to do is take your glue, oops, and you're going to glue it all down. I'm sure I don't really need to do this bit, but it's fun to be making, isn't it? So I've got my glue on that, so I'll put that right in the middle. And you can see where I've peeled the glue off, the paper off from the envelope. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut across, leaving a little bit less than that, leaving a tiny little bit on the corner just to make a nice join. So I'm going to do that with all of my corners, just so as I can make a nice mitered corner for my book. Okay. Now, again, you can do this with papers or you can do it with glue. What I like to do is with sticky tape or with glue, double-sided tape or glue. I'll get the right words in a minute. What I like to do, even if I'm using tape, is to run glue down the edges just to reinforce that edge a little bit. So I'm going to take some tape. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm going to use my glue. Why not? So I'm going to make sure all of that is covered in glue. And then what I like to do is stand it up. So bring it to a stand and fold it over, just so that it reinforces that crease there. So, and press it down with a bowl folder, and then go into these corners and really reinforce that corner there and there, and then go directly opposite and do exactly the same again. So glue all over that. So the reason I do like glue sometimes is that, I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes find that when I use double-sided tape, it lifts off the grey board, which it's not always brilliant, you know, sometimes can leave a bit of a strange finish. So once you've done opposite ends, go to these ones, put your glue down, and I just feel that with glue it just gives more of a, I don't know, a better finish sometimes. So sometimes I'll use double-sided tape, but I will also use glue as well, just to sort of reinforce that stickiness, I guess. So, oh, I think Old Faithful's going to need refilling again soon. Getting a bit low on the glue in there. And again, bring that up, fold it all the way over, press down as best I can with the bone folder. Right, I'm going to set that to one side and put a weight on it just to stop it from peeling up. There's Blue Peter Stars, one I've already done. So if your paper's directional, have to have a think about which way round your book's going to be. So, and if you've glued your sides and your pockets, you're going to have to think about that as well. What you might want to do at this point is, as I've already done with this one, is I added little thumb notches in, as you can see there, just to help get the tags in and out. So at this point you're going to want to bring in your hole punch. This is what's this, about 3/4, no, it's an inch, and then you're going to, so this is a top opening page, is it? Oh no, wrong way around, duh, always on camera. So this is a top opening page, so I'd slide that in like that and do a little punch there. I'm not going to do it with this one, so I should put that to one side just for quickness, that's all. So with that being my top closing page, I'm going to put glue all on the back of the flap that would have been my cover had I not made covers. And remembering where the direction of the paper is, this one is non-directional, as you can see, so doesn't really matter which way round, but what I want to do is try and get it on quite centrally, but slightly to where the spine is. I don't want to put it centrally because that can sometimes hinder when you're opening the book, but as you can see, it's slightly more to this side than it is to this side. It just means that when I open the album, it doesn't, the two covers don't hit each other too much. Okay, and because we've given it a good amount of fold over, it then means that we don't get any grey board showing when we open it up. Okay, so where's that one? We'll do the same with this one. Now, I've got to put my ribbon on. That's the top, so that's the back. So I'm just going to peel that off a sec. Ooh, and put my ribbon on. So if you want ribbon, it goes on the back. So it goes across there like that. Just gets tape. And this is just to anchor it while I'm gluing it. No more than that really. So I'm going to put it across the middle on this one. There we go. And put glue all round again. Big globs of blue because I've just taken it off. Put some on there and under the ribbon just to hold it. Don't want it coming off on this side, just to make sure it's all held in place well. There we go. So which is the side I've just taken it off? I think it's this side. I'm going to apply the glue again. It's a little bit tacky, but let's apply more glue. Why is this clogging up? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to then go over the top and pop it on just as I did before, more to the spine edge, and then put glue on that side all the way around. Oh, still clogged up a bit. I'll have to get a pin on that in a minute. Trying to get close to the edge, but not so as I get any spillage. And then hover over and put this on. That's going to be the front, I'm going to put it that way. just because it looks prettier. So I'm trying to make sure that these are both about the same. So there we go, and we can tie our mini album up with that. Okay, so once we've got to this point, if you have made pockets, what you will want is some tags. So I've used the same papers again, and these are okay. So these ones I'm going to make so they're slightly bigger, so that when they go in, they stick up a little bit. So I've used my corner rounder to round those edges, just to give it a bit more of a tag shape. You can punch a hole and put some ribbon in if you want, and then slide them in. Now these ones, because they're slightly bigger and I'm not putting a whole finger hole there, these ones are 2.5 by 3 inches. The ones in this one, because I have put the finger holes in and I have put the holes and ribbons in, these ones are 2.5 by 2.5, and that is 6.5 centimeters by 6.5 centimeters. I did remember to measure these. So these are square, so there's less space on them. But what you could do is, if you had those in contrast, you could use that for writing on, and then you could use this space for photographs, so that all the writing is hidden away. So unless you want to share it, you can. Whereas this one, I'm going to have my tags peeping out, and because they're white on that side, plain on that side and patterned on that, I'm going to use that side for writing. So I'll pop that back in. I've got a stamp somewhere in this room that says memories, so I'm going to stamp that right in the middle of that tag, and then pop that back in like that. If you do as I've got on this one, you get a white bit shown like that. That's sometimes because if your cutting or your scoring is slightly out. Usually the cutting, which I think I must have done here on that one, it's not shown up on any others. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of ink, similar colour to this, and I'm just going to ink that bottom just to blend it in a bit. Okay, so that was my tutorial for today. Hope you liked it. Thumbs up if you did, and comments always welcome in the comment box below. So let me know what you think. Okay, speak to you soon. Bye guys.